God damn it. Maybe it was. Why don't you just tweet at him real quick, Guardian? Well, it wasn't even about being good. You didn't have to be good to solo lower levels in this game. You just had to, well, be really fucking patient. So what parties used to do is parties would seek out players and then they'd camp out in areas like this. Like this spot like hugged really close against the wall. And someone would go and he'd pull like this mob back to here. And pull that mob back to here. And you'd kill them one at a time until your healer didn't have enough MP to keep going. And then you would give him a break, let him get MP back, and then do it again. What's going on, Kentro Barta? Explosion, please. I don't have anything. Chain 5, boys. And each one of those was, yeah, 200 EXP. Would go up to 300 at the time. It's way higher now. And you needed many thousands of experience points to level. Even with the nerfed values to 99, it was 56,000. It was 54,000, I believe, or 55,000 from 98 to 99. Thank you, Kentro. Can I get some sub hype in the chat, please? And thank you. Thank you for supporting the stream, and of course. Alright. Oh yeah, by the way, for music, since somebody mentioned it. Point made. That depends on the food they were using, Neo. I used MP per tick food, just for that. The sound of nothingness and wind. By the way, we're going to skip over Selbina for now. We're going to come back to Selbina a little bit later because we're going to take the boat. We are going to walk right past Selbina, however, real quick. You done goofed, screen cap. I just like that description of the soundtrack for this place. Nothing and wind. Selbina does have music and I can't mount there. Hey, look, somebody's leveling. It's a red mage, I'm assuming, because he casts fire and he has a sword. Figure it couldn't hurt to take a look real quick. There's also a beach that's hidden, and there's some caves that are hidden along the sides of the beaches down there. There's also a very popular monster, the Valkurm Emperor. Drops a hairpin. I think I might have the hairpin on this character somewhere. He spawns down there when you kill damselflies. And he used to be a very, very popular one. His headpiece was good for a pretty long period of time. You can't do the actual endgame content solo. You can do things at max level solo, but you can't do, like, you're not going to do the new Dynamis Divergence solo. You won't do that. But, you could do, like, you could work on your relic weapon solo if you wanted. It's reasonable with the way Dynamis works now. That's probably going to be the first thing that we take a look at. If we hit the first 10,000, we'll probably take a look at Dynamis. I'll leave it to a vote which Dynamis we do. I'll put it between the cities, Busadine, Zarkabard, and Tabnasia, as opposed to including the Valkurm ones. There's no groups. Join a group for what? There's no one grouping for anything but Divergence, and I don't have the stuff to do Divergence. I don't have 139 shit to do Divergence. Or I don't have, like, top quality 119 stuff to even do Divergence. And I don't have mastery points. Alright, so I'm going to quickly show you guys this thing back here. I didn't really want to go this way yet. This leads to another cave. Well, the beach I'm going to leads to another cave, which leads to Cape Tarragon. Oh, wait, no, this isn't the cave, at least Cave Terragon. My bad. It's been a while. Dynamis was so fucking boring. Not a fan of that idea. Go stab. I remember camping the golden bat that's not actually golden back here. There's a bat that can spawn in the next cave. So yeah, you can see that like where we are on the map isn't on the map. Thank you, map. There's a few quests you could do here. One I believe was one of the samurai quests. And then you had this cave over here, which is, we're not going to go into the cave, but... Basically, this giant bat and this giant bat, killing them gave you a chance to spawn golden bat, which dropped a cape. Level 30-something cape with evasion plus. And I used to sell that shit for like 60k. It was nice. Well, Dynamis Zarkabard didn't even have its own theme. It used one of the other themes in the game. What's going on, Sea Swallow? How you doing? This was every Dynamis theme. There you go. That was every Dynamis, except Zarkabard. Zarkabard used the Shadow Lord theme. And yes, that long pause is also there. Yes, they played like 6 piano keys for the next 2 hours. It was good times. It was good times. What's going on, Swallow? How you doing? Alright, so now we're going to make our way up through Lathine Plateau, which is very similar to Kronstadt Highlands in terms of its effective role in the game. Different enemies there, different entrances to different dungeons, like, what's the name of the tunnel that has Stroper Chime and... slipping my mind. What's the one with Stroper Chime and the Brown Belt quest? Ordeals, there you go. It was an ordeal getting to that fucking cave. I hate Ordeals. Ordeals is a shitty place, to be fair. And you had to go through it for one of the Xylar quests, too, because you had to get to the headstone. Thank you, Jack Daniels, for the 6th month in a row. Can I get some sub hype in the chat, please, and thank you. Much appreciated for the 6-month resub. Get some sub hype in the chat, please, and thank you. And of course, hey, how you doing? No, they don't. In this game, they do, but no, they don't. Well, I remember Jugner and Devoy. We're gonna leave a lot of the Beastman strongholds until after we get to Juno, most likely. There's a lot of zones here. And like I said, we're skipping past Selbina for the time being. Harbinger's Landing was a shitty place, man. They started making you go there a lot in COP, and I'm just like, I don't fucking like this place. To be fair, this mount would look ridiculous anywhere, Sanaa. This is Bill. And I hope you really like his music, because you're gonna get to know it very well today. What we're gonna do is we're going up to Sandoria and we're taking the boat ride from Selbina to Mahara. Mahara, by the way, is where like most of the end game is right now. That's not true. It's where Ambuscade is, and that's what a lot of people spend their time doing. What's going on, Flat? How you doing? No, Ordeals doesn't have any burning circles, Diablos. I know, that's why everyone wants it, Neko. It would be great. Yes, the zones that actually do have music we'll listen to. Listen to Gustaberg a little bit when I was switching characters, and then we'll listen to Ronfar when we get there. What's going on, Lennon? How you doing? Oh, that's right. This is Mr. Happy with 3 Ps. Hey, doing pretty good. Take care, Blue Fox. You have a good one. Well, Muhara is populated because they stuck a piece of endgame content there. They literally shoved a fucking daily / spammable instance there called Ambuscade. We're touring the world. Sea Swallow. Oh, sky farming. As soon as people didn't need Byakko Hadites anymore, I was so glad to have that. By the way, for music. There we go. Dude, sky farming was fucking awful. So, like I said, this zone is very similar in function to Kronstadt Highlands. This is the Lethene Plateau. It has its own crag, this time of Hala. 2,500. Would you look at that?
Well, would you look at that? It's more money. Huh?
More money. And by the way, good for you on remembering hashtag Nin. Thank you for the 2,500 cheers. Can I get some dollar in the chat, please? I'm riding Bill. You know what was the worst part? Go was when they changed Ulukumi to being a force spawn, and you had to farm an item for him. We were like, wow, that's gonna be so much better. Ulukumi is a hell. You know what then took me 10 hours the very next day to farm even a single pop item for him? We just started buying pop items at that point for Ulukumi. We were like, fuck it. We don't care. We don't care. We don't want to do this. We're just gonna fucking buy the pop item. Someone else will do it. We don't fucking care. Alright, that's it. I don't fucking care. How you doing, Adam? How you doing? How you doing? Alright, so that is the Crag of Hala. Again, pretty much there's all the same functions, except it has a different Promethean in there. As well as a different entrance into sea, especially if you're someone who's going to do Limbus. But we are making our way into Ronfauer. Actually, we should go check out Ordell's real quick. I think we can enter through the... I think we can enter through one of these. I think the very north one we can't do. But I think one of these we can use. Carbuncle was also available here. Yeah, for the Summoner quest line, this place was really important. There's, over here in this area right here, there's a summoning circle, and when you were finished collecting all the elements for your Carbuncle's Ruby, you take them there to unlock Summoner. And then on top of that, there's a few other Summoner-related quests, and as well as story-related quests that end up there, because that's the one communing point with Carbuncle. That's just the point where you commune with Carbuncle, pretty much. Anytime there's anything that wants you to talk to Carbuncle, you generally go there. Yeah, we'll go to Ryzenjima is going to be one of the last things. So this was where the Stone Monument was, so clearly this isn't where the entrance is. The Stone Monument, you had to go through the caves to get to it. Yeah, I remember when I did it and people told me about my rainbow. Oh, I mean the summoner one. Yeah. Is this the one? If it's not this one, it's the other one. That looks like the entrance.
Bill the crowd guy.
Thank you, Neko, for the 100 cheers. Thank you. This might be one of the other exits. Oh wait, this actually leads to the headstone. That was the stone monument. Does this one lead to the headstone? Because a stone monument is for something different than the headstone is. No, that's the exit, and then the other side is where the headstone is. Okay, yeah. So this was part of a different quest altogether. This was part of one of the Xylart missions. The stone monument is for a different quest. I don't remember which one. Oh yeah, there's... You know, you can jump in this game now. You can jump. It's just not the kind of jump you're expecting it to be. It doesn't actually function as a jump. It's an emote. So you can't jump over things or jump down things or jump up things. But you can jump, as you're about to see in a second. Yeah, that's an emote. You can't actually jump over anything. Your shadow doesn't even change. See? And that's all it does. It has no function after that. That's it. That's the end function of it, is that. That animation. Everyone has bad... Well, I mean, but... Listen, look how small my legs are compared to my upper body. Listen, the tech wasn't there back then, okay? The tech wasn't there. Good morning, Newton. How you doing? We didn't have the tech, okay? Ah, here we go. This is Ordel's cave. Yes, here we go. Now, Ordel's cave, I don't want to go too deep in, similar to Guskin, because Ordel's cave is actually a shit show of a cave, and there's no other good way for me to get around inside of the cave other than going all the way through. So, for the sake of showing it, Ordel's cave was a really popular zone for a handful of reasons. First of all, this map doesn't show you everything. What there is a place you can do is you can go up through here, and then there's another exit someplace else. And then you can come down here and go through here. And at this point, there's level 99s at these areas. Or there's enemies that aggro to a level 99 around these areas. This area and this area, these lungs right here, used to be popular for an enemy known as the Stroper Chime, which dropped Archer's Rings. They dropped it with a super low drop rate, so Gill Sellers or RMT would regularly camp up and camp these areas hard. And basically every time a Stroper Chime spawns, which is every, I think, like 12 to 15 minutes, they'd spawn it, kill it, sell the Archer's Rings, whatever. On top of that, if you go through this part right here and you go up, there's another enemy called the Morbulgar, which was part of a monk's quest to get their brown belt. That only spawned once a day, like 21 to 24 hours, and only one person could fight it. So, and there was only one potential drop item that you could get from it. So led to a lot of people having some pretty sour memories of this place overall. There is also a hidden room in one of these areas, which is a part of a different side quest altogether, and eventually part of, I believe, the Sky side quest. They made it part eventually. And then there's not much else going on in the rest of Ordel's. There's some artifact quests and some other things that you come here to do, but overall, Ordel's was mostly known for those two things. For I'm going the wrong. Oh, no, I'm going the right way. Mostly known for the Stroper Chimes and for Morbulgar. There are some other things. There are some other things that are in there, mostly quest-related stuff. Yep, I remember that, Permurin. Basically, what Permurin is saying is like a group of two would kill the enemy and then put the item in their loot table, and then they would say to the people nearby, "Hey, do any of you want to buy this item?" And you'd pretty much have no choice but to say yes, because a lot of times it was botted, and you as a solo person would probably have a pretty rough time actually claiming it. Also, Eco Warrior was in there. But nobody cares about Eco Warrior, because as we established earlier, it was a complete waste of time. It's the best mount in the game. Endgame is actually still pretty rough. So the biggest problem with Endgame in Final Fantasy XI currently is due to some design decisions they made over the past couple of years. At some point, they got to level 99, but they wanted to keep increasing the power of the gear and the character, so they introduced item level. When they got to around item level 119, they stopped actually increasing item level, but they started releasing items that were called item level 119 that were higher in terms of stats. So they're not actually item level 119, they're stronger than an item level 119 item, and therefore there's enemies that go way and above item level, or go way and above level 119. And so you need gear that's the higher echelon 119 gear versus the lower echelon 119 gear. And there's a pretty substantial difference between the two. On top of that, they added a system called job points. So those of you who played back in the day may remember merit points, where you can get merit points and you can go into categories and increase your great katana skill or increase your strength, as you can see right there. Or maybe you wanted to make it so you proc Zanchin more, or stored more TP, whatever. You could do all that within certain constraints. This is nothing like that. Job points are literally just a straight up, hey, earn job points and then you can put stuff into these different effects. These are the only effects you have, and you can finish all of them. So like Zanchin, increase the physical attack of Zanchin, increase the skill chain damage when under this. Everyone can get them. There's no limit to that. You just have to farm for as many points as you can get. The problem then comes when talking about the effects. So basically, as you put job points into a specific job, you get points. And for every combined point that you used, you get a permanent bonus to the job. So for example, I've put 20 job points in, I guess. So I've got physical evasion bonus, physical attack bonus, capacity point bonus, meaning I get more points to earn more job points. Capacity points being the experience point you needed to earn job points. And in total, you need 2,100 job points to master a job. And all of those are passive bonuses that you get to the job. So players won't play with you if you don't have... Well, most players won't play with you unless you have all of these bonuses. So let's go over the effectiveness of some of these bonuses. More capacity points. More accuracy, magic evasion. You can equip items known as superior. So remember when I said that they stopped raising the item level, but they made higher echelon gear? You need job points to even equip the superior gear, which a lot of people tell me isn't that superior, depending on the piece. Like, there are pieces that are not superior that are better than superior pieces, but then there's superior pieces that, yeah. So anyway, more capacity points, magic accuracy, Zanchin effect, capacity points, superior 2 items. Haseo and Sagan increases their effects by 5% each. Store TP up by 2%. So you need, most people will consider it mandatory, you need all of these bonuses. Most people will be like, must be master. Because, it's just what they want. And you can notice a pretty big difference between someone who's master and someone who's not master, but the bigger purpose is the actual gear. And getting the higher tier gear, a lot of people are assholes about, hey, you must be master, but then you need the gear to make getting to master easier, but people don't want to get the gear with you unless you're master. It's very similar to Delve weapons back in the day. Delve was an endgame that was added in Secrets of Adulin, and it had weapons that were the best weapons in the game at the time. And the only other weapon that could really compare to it was a fully upgraded and modernized relic weapon. And you'd see people would be like, looking for Delve group must have Delve weapon. And it's like, well, why the fuck would I be doing it if I had that? So anyway, Lethune Plateau does have a theme. I'm sorry, this is Ronfaur. Ronfaur does have a theme, so we'll listen to that. Literally, when I played 5-6 months ago, every shout group said either must be mastered or must have this exact item, or won't do it. I ran into it non-stop. The only way I found it was because I stream, and other people were like, hey, I don't mind. And I'm like, cool. I was looking to see if there was a fun little rabbit in this area. Yeah, every MMO has elitism. What's going on, Rogue Flame? How you doing? So in this area, West Ronfaur wasn't known for a whole lot. It was known for pretty much that outpost, and there's a notorious monster that can spawn in this area called Jaggedy Ear Jack. He dropped a rabbit charm, which increased the rate at which you could steal items, pretty much, if you were a thief. So, and it had among the lowest drop rates of some of the notorious monster items that you could get at this point in the game. So it was very expensive, very rare, and he got a lot of people hating him for that reason. We just called him Jedge. Jedge was our name. Also, to the northwest is an entrance to an area. I said I skipped the Palboro Mines earlier. I would come back to it. Up there is a similar area, but it's for the orcs instead, whereas Palboro Mines are for the Quadabs, the beastmen of this game. We're going to make our way over to Ramper's real quick. Ramper's Tomb is something I can actually go all the way in. Virtua won't be up, most likely. There's like a 99% chance he's not up. Most people kill him pretty quickly whenever he spawns. But it's pretty quick. Unlike Ordell's Caves, King Ramper's is a little quicker to go through. There is also the tree notorious monster, who is actually probably there. King Ramper's Tomb, amongst the areas that were right next to a starting city, I'd say that Palboro Mines is probably the least popular, whereas King Ramper's Tomb was the most popular. There's a few reasons for that. One reason was that it contained a lot of low-level enemies and notorious monsters that were valuable. The most noticeable one being called Spook, who dropped a Nomad's Mantle. Travelers? Nomads? I think Nomads might have been the higher level one. No, Travelers was the higher level one, and Nomads was the low level one, yeah. He dropped the Nomad's Mantle, which was a really valuable early game piece. A lot of people spent a lot of money on that. And he spawned 2 to 3 times per hour, just only at night. I always tell a story about someone I know who got banned for botting him in a link shell that was basically required you to buy bots or buy characters. On top of that, deeper in is actually an area that was popular for leveling at max level. Actually, there was an area that was popular at level 50, around level 50-ish for leveling on bats, and then there was another area even deeper in there that was popular for people who were closer to max level at the time. If you went really far in, there were 2 notorious monsters, one called Cemetery Cherry that was once a day spawn, and people spent a lot of time camping that one. And then you also had Virtua, which was one of the worms in the game that dropped Virtua wasn't really as valuable as the other ones. Tiamat was definitely the most sought after one, and Jormungand was probably the least sought after one. But Virtua did have some decent items, and it wasn't even just the equipment, it was the other items that Virtua could drop. But King Ramper's Tomb, probably the most used. Of the... Horutoto Ruins had its own use, because that's one we're going to go to later. But Horutoto Ruins was very confusing for a lot of people, and you had to go there for some really, really important quests, specifically to get into the Toremere Canal, which is where you had to go to face Fenrir, as well as do some of the artifact quests and coffer hunts and stuff like that. But Toremere was a pretty shitty zone all over. Yeah, most people fought Virtua for Kashmir, not for the actual armor, because any chance of getting Kashmir was a big deal. Alright, so King Ramper's Tomb. Oh, King Ramper's Tomb also was the gateway to a hidden entrance to the Jugner Forest, which was where another notorious monster... It wasn't Arthur. It wasn't King Arthur. It was King Someone help me out here. Arthros. There you go. King Arthros. I want to say King Arthur. King Arthros. It was an entrance that led to and he dropped a very coveted belt as well. Yeah, Arthro. I kept wanting to say Arthur. It's Arthro, not Arthros. So, like I said, King Ramper's Tomb, of the areas connected immediately to a low-level area, like one of the starting zones, it was probably the most influential of all of them. Horutoto had its own importances. I'd say Dangrif Wadi was probably the most worth... I'd say that the Bastak area in general, probably a big reason for its lack of popularity, is other than being eventually the entrance to the Ultan Movopolos, which wasn't until a few years after the game came out, it didn't really have a whole lot going for it. Palboro Mines had the least valuable notorious monster spawns of all the Beastmen ones. Debatable. I guess technically, no, because the one near Sandoria had... Wow, fucking, what's his name? I can't remember. It had a Notorious Monster that was pretty valuable there. And of course, the one over by Windurst was the most valuable because it had the Bard staff. It also had some other quests going on in there. Speed belt, was it the speed? No, I don't remember speed belt being over 100 mil when I played last time. Monster Sigma. So in the bottom right corner of this zone right here, it's not nighttime right now, so he shouldn't be here. But oh, it's about to be nighttime. Well, Spook should spawn. I can just double around and grab him real quick. Yeah, I'd say that's tough, man. And even then, Budo really didn't have that many Notorious Monsters worth much either, outside of Adamant King himself, and most people didn't really care about him compared to the other two either. I'd say, if anything, the only thing that people really liked in Budo was, don't get me wrong, there were items worth stuff, but not the same value as there were in Devoy and Castle Ostroja. I'd say it was probably the slimes for the dodge earrings. That was probably the most valuable thing that came out of Budo. And those weren't even like Notorious Monster camps. Those were just there. The other items from Budo you could sell for a few other things. So this is the area where that Notorious Monster... Well, not even Notorious Monster. I don't even think he's a Notorious Monster. I think he's just a ghost. I'll examine him when he spawns. But basically, nighttime starts at 2000 hours in this game. So Spook should be spawning in roughly about 3 or 4 minutes. I can technically come back. Doesn't matter. Where we're going to be going next, you can see there are some of the other exits here. The one out to East Ronflower. There's the one out to Jugner Forest. The entrance to the level 99 area is over here, whereas we're over here in a different tomb. Yeah, I would say that's quite a surprise, because Kieran's also is definitely not worth that much. Well, Defending Ring you couldn't sell. I don't think that's the conversation that's happening right now. I mean, you could technically sell it. You would just have to kill the boss, see it, and then invite someone to the party, but that's a different story. PM me? Most people just... I don't know. Most people just ask me questions here or send me a Twitch message as opposed to a Twitch whisper. Our member of the community, Furry Tractor, I call him VV because that was his old Twitch name. He actually got a Defending Ring in May. He bought a King Behemoth spawn item with his login points, and he got a Defending Ring. That was in May of this year. Yeah, that's what I just said, Just. That's what I used to do for all the endgame bosses. The Link Shell I was in had every fucking item in the game, and we had more of them than we knew what to do with. So we would sell everything. We sold Hot Eclairs, we sold Defending Rings, like, it didn't matter. Dude, our best tanks, the same guy had 2 different accounts. He had one account where he was on a Paladin, and one account where he was on a Ninja, and they were both geared to the teeth. Each one of them had a Defending Ring. Each one of them had an Anurta Sash, which was an absolute virtue item from when he was Zergable. Both of them had full HQ sets. Both of them had relics and mythics. So they had, you know, his ninja had both the relic katana and the mythic katana. His paladin had the relic sword and the relic shield, and then also had the mythic sword. He also had a Hot Eclair if he really wanted to. The only reason that one guy had 2 accounts, though, is because one of the tanks, I think the paladin, quit the game and gave that ninja his account, so he controlled both of the best tanks in the Link Shell. Thank you for the 2nd month resub, Arionoth. Could I get some sub hype in the chat, please, and thank you. Alright, so this motherfucker should be spawning. Unless they changed it, he should be spawning any fucking second now. Oh, there he is. See? That's the one. Yeah, I don't think he's a Notorious Monster. Yeah, it says 2 weak. He's just a regular enemy that had a decent drop. Boop. Hey, we got cotton cloth. Not the item, though. Defending ring is still very, very valuable, yes. So item level, by the way, item level scaling in this game only applies to your weapon, head, body, hands, legs, and feet. Everything else doesn't have an item level. So there are some items that are pretty good, even though they don't have item level tied to them. Mostly accessories. Or all of your accessories. So accessories didn't suffer the outscaling of item level like all of your main pieces did. It's mostly your weapon and your armor. It's entirely your weapon and your armor that scales with item level. And then I have some of these other rings. I have the Hizumaru ring with accuracy, evasion, store DP, and counter. I've got the Raz ring, because whatever. I've got the Moonshade ring, which has accuracy and TP bonus plus 250. And then I have the Bushinomi, which is Great Katana and strength plus 2. I've got a Juki Kick Feather. I think I got this from Adulin, if I'm not mistaken. Dex plus 4, accuracy plus 4. I have a grip with accuracy plus 10, attack plus 10. That was definitely from Reeves, from one of the Reeve bosses. I also have this katana, the Nena Kiramaru, which is level 99, I-119-1. Tahaka Mantle, accuracy plus 15, attack plus 15, store TP plus 10. I have a life belt because my belt sucked. That was one of the things I almost considered like farming up gil for when I played back in May, was to get a better belt, because that's all I have. And then I just have the Flamma set. I have a mix of the Flamma set and the Zucchetto set, which has like triple attack and haste and regen and shit on it. Alright, so now we're going to go into the part of Ramper's Tomb that I was talking about earlier. And this is the part that can get pretty... It won't be nasty for me because I'm level 99, but it can get nasty if you're a lower level. You know how many new players were just exploring and they came to this part of King Ramper's Tomb like, ooh, what does this do? And then they say, it says enter, and they're like, oh man. Yeah, I was working on +1 for one of them, but I don't remember. And then you end up down here, and you're just like, okay, what's down here? Oh, a Grounds Tome, cool. Oh, newer players didn't have that. That's a newer feature. And then you wound up in Hell. An Ogre Bat. Now, those are incredibly easy prey. That being said, I do have options here to just not face them. So, I'm going to go Sneak and Invis so I don't aggro them. Just so we can take a little trip around. Yeah, I saw heroes. Among them was 5150. Or 5150, however you prefer. Yeah. So the virtual room is way over there, so that's the room we'll show. Well, you can still stop them from chasing you to the zone with scent-based aggro. Like, for example, if you run over a creek, certain enemies will stop aggroing you if you run through water because they'll lose your scent. Or you can get far enough away and use the odorize. Other than that, depends on the enemy. Some enemies are a little bit more, a little bit less willing to give up on you. And when you reach the zone, they're going to despawn anyway, so nobody else dies to them. But, you know, that's what it is. We're almost close enough to the room. He shouldn't be there. Most people... Oh, yeah, and then this is where all those monk parties took place. With killing all these things. Vertra should be dead. There's no reason for... I see the cemetery cherries are alive, though. Yeah, he's definitely dead. I'd be able to see him already. They started despawning sometime in the middle of Chains of Promethea, I think is when they did that. I guess I could just go into the room. Yeah. Those are all the enemies up in his room. He is not one of them. Yeah, people still kill Vertra, like, on spawn. So, like, if you're not there when he spawns, the odds of you actually being around to kill him. I remember, it was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, I logged in and I went to Ottawa Chasm, which is where one of the other dragons spawns. And I got to actually kill Tiamat. I didn't get the gators, but I was really surprised that he was there. So in this room, sometimes spawns a big old fucking dragon. He's not here right now, but this dragon used to be a big headache for a lot of people. Luckily, he was tucked away in the deepest recesses of hell, so he didn't have to deal with him too much. Alright. It's funny actually sneaking and invising to get by these guys, because they're all not that threatening to me. But I'm also not gonna fucking waste my time killing all this shit, because they're all so tightly grouped. Heroes. Good sellout. I like it. I'm actually playing with an Xbox One controller right now. Because I grew up playing this on the PS2, so playing on a controller is second nature to me. Had I have all my macros set up, because I didn't upload them to Square Enix servers, I wonder if I did. Like, I wonder if I just checked if I actually did, and I just think I didn't. Yeah, we got Lenovo laptops for days. My Lenovo laptop got like I think it was 11,800 on full screen 1920 by 1080p. And then it was, I remember I did one at 720 and I got like 14,000 for 14 for the benchmark on the laptop Lenovo gave me. I haven't had much an opportunity to use it, but it worked really well. Well, I'm sponsored by SteelSeries. I'm affiliated with Lenovo. They gave me a laptop, and so when people say, hey, I need a new laptop, I go, there you go. Mine works fucking great. Yeah, I don't think I ever uploaded the macros to the server. Pretty sure I never did. Like 99% sure. Alright, now we're going to get out of here and we're going to go into Sandoria, and then we're going to take the home point over to Selbina. We're just making our way back out of the King Ramper's tomb. I just have to check my map occasionally to remember where the fuck I'm going. At times like this, I wish I was sub-thief just for flee, but then I wouldn't have a sneak invis, so you know. I might actually have a warp, but the idea was to go immediately into Sandoria. I have my 4th staff. Do I have... I don't think I have the item with me. I also have the tomes. I have the grounds. Oh, I have a grounds tome right here. Hello, grounds tome. How are you? I don't still play now. Nope. Well, it's field support, but could use that one. I'll just walk my way out. And then as you just approach, it just teleports you out. I don't have the patience to do half the shit in this game anymore. There are some things you can log in and do with moderate degrees of success, like work on a relic weapon, but fucking Christ, dude. Yeah, I know. I just don't have one. Actually, I might have one, because I had one from way before. Yeah, I did. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I bought one back then, but that's also going to take me back to Adulin, and that's not the point. That's not the point of the tour. The only reason we're teleporting back to Selbina is because we've already seen everything between Sandoria and Selbina. And I even walked past Selbina's entrance. Otherwise, I'd be walking to Selbina. Well, not walking, I'd be mounting to Selbina. Can't mount in dungeons, by the way. That's because it is, Dartmouth. You'll have something to do all the time, whether or not that thing is good to do, who knows. And then Ambuscade if you have a good month, a bad month. Ambuscade's interesting. Ambuscade's probably the most approachable thing you can do in the game nowadays, outside of soloing the old stuff to eventually bring it up to item level 119. Dude, it took me almost a full month of following through. There was a guide of like how to get like at least somewhat decent starter gear, and that's what I did to get to where I am before I picked up Ambuscade gear. And it took a while, man. It was not a short process, I'll tell you that much. You could raise a chocobo. It couldn't be used in the dungeons, though. It could be used out in the field. Which you don't really need anymore because you have the mount. Although the chocobos could be raised to be pretty quick. So we're going to walk our ass out of here. And then you didn't bring a black mage with you to warp everyone out, Dartmouth. So you better have had a warp cudgel, or a warp scroll, or something. No, we're not even remotely close to that platinum. It's been almost 2 hours. We've barely made it from Bastok to Sandoria. And yes, getting around in this game does actually take that long if you don't use all the new systems they've set up for it. It's not like, oh, Happy's been taking his time. No, I've been running place to place. We got a little bit turned around at 1 or 2 points, but still. Warp ring is the only... Yeah, but we are talking about back in the day frosting. That's the context of the conversation. Ah, good old movements. I mean, don't get me wrong, even with those, it's slow as shit. It's just about, a little tiny bit faster. All that really matters, though, is this. Feels good to have you back, Bill. Alright, so we're going to head into Sandoria, and then after we tour that around a little bit, we are going to head back to Selbina and do the fucking boat. Dude, my boy Bill here is a fucking champion, alright? I mean, gameplay-wise, the odds of them screwing it over is really low. And it's Square Enix is the publisher, so they have say over monetization of it. No, Bill. Because Bernie is doing his own thing. This isn't Bernie, this is a red crab, this is Bill. I don't know what that means, Sickle. Oh, you mean the Bastiono Oble? Bastiono Oble? Yeah, that's another place to go. The Bastiono, as soon as I go in there, though, if I don't hard commit to the idea, well, I guess I could always teleport out with the tome that's in there. The problem with going into the Bastiono Oble is it's a one-way fucking trip, unless I want to warp ring my way out. No. Far from it, dog. Not even close. Oh, what is my favorite game? Oh, that would be Final Fantasy VI, dude. I thought you said, is this? My bad. No, Final Fantasy VI is an easy winner in that category. And we now come to the second of the initial cities. One of the two of the 3 starting cities we have now explored. Welcome to Sandoria. Well, enjoy the bagpipes. Alright, so Sandoria, as you can see, is a hot mess, but at least it's really straightforward. Do you need it? Capacity point party. Can I have it? Core or Geo? I will end you, Sky Slayer. I will end you. I don't know, dude. So many games over my years. I've played a lot of games. And a lot of them always have shortcomings. Devil May Cry 3 is a big one for me. I love Devil May Cry 3. Alright, we've got all the different consulates to the different cities. We have the church over there. We have the chateau right there, which leads into the Bastiono, which is not how that's pronounced, by the way. One other thing we can grab while we're here, since I don't see why not, we'll have to go to this place eventually anyway. Yes, I am, Swallow. The one other thing I'll grab, since I already grabbed one of them, I probably won't be able to grab all 6, but I can grab the low-level ones. No Man's Sky was pretty bad. Wasn't great. Destiny 1 was a pretty big letdown. That's why I didn't bother picking up Destiny 2. Oh, did I never... I might have never done... Yeah, actually, I never did Sandoria Fame on this character. So I probably don't have the fame to even pick up the quest. That's one of the quests for the different avatar battles. That would be Shiva right there. Yeah, getting better doesn't make my initial purchase any better. Implies I would spend the time to play it again. And then you can head all the way over to the port of Sandoria. Not a whole lot that goes on in the port. There's a few quests that happen there, and that's actually a pretty popular crafting area. But most of my time spent in Sandoria was far away from the port. Most of my time was spent around here and in the southern ends. The southern part is usually popping, and that's still the case. Destiny 2 is still a pretty big letdown. They basically took what was a great culmination of Destiny 1 and then took away all the content and then released a new game. Pretty much. So it's like, wow, there's nothing to do in this game. It's just like Destiny 1's launch. Since May, Frosty. Yes, the airships are all still on timers. Alright, we'll go back to south, and we'll take the whole point over to Selbina, and it'll be boat time. Yeah, the Moat Carp guy was on the port. Good old 10,000 Moat Carp. Good old 10,000 Moat Carp. Yep. Exactly, Fender. I'll go to the other home point just so we can see the exact replica of that area replicated over here. Yeah, good luck actually getting into the new Dynamis content. I don't exactly... I mean, don't get me wrong, a Lungo Nungo Jank Shell... was it Jang Shell? Or whatever, a 100 piece would work well. I don't exactly have any of those hanging around. This is like Galka. They're not super expensive, and I could just go farm one, but... Well, farm one. Yeah, you can farm 100 pieces reasonably with Sub-Thief, and you'll be fine. Just go Sub-Thief and... Well, you can go Sub-Thief, or you can go Sub-Dancer and go for procs. Either one works. Alright, so we are actually going to be using a teleport point to teleport to... Selbina, since we've already seen all the areas through there. Yeah, if you've already done it once, then you can't do it again, Gax. It's the same event as before. And to Selbina we go. One of the other pleasant themes. A lot of things happen in Selbina. Between waiting for the boat, which is the most obvious one, there's a lot of story quests that converge here. Including Rhapsodies of Vana'diel. Some of the very beginning parts of Rhapsodies of Vana'diel and some of the most important parts for expanding your... If you're someone who were to start playing today, you'd want to get the early parts of Rhapsodies done as quickly as possible to unlock certain features, including EXP bonuses and additional trusts. And that's going to really come to fruition here in Selbina. But I think most people will just remember it for the boat. The sub-job quest, yeah. To be fair, though, most people won't do the sub-job quest the same way anymore. You can unlock your sub-jobs via Rhapsodies of Vana'diel as opposed to doing the old-school sub-job quest. Million Corn to raise fame. That's another one. Million Corn to raise fame. I actually preferred Biota Moss. It was better in terms of... in terms of economy, it was a better choice on my server. You actually made money buying Biota Moss and then giving it to the NPC, so it was something that I prioritized. Our field researchers in Escaruan have reported that the Nagaraya have appeared around H9. What a rare research at the opportunity. Our field researchers in Ryzenjima have reported that Quetzalcoatl has appeared around question mark. What a rare research at the opportunity. Thank you, Unity. Thank you. What's going on, Splode? How you doing? So, one of the big things about this game is patience. What we're doing right now is we're waiting for a boat. And yes, we're going to wait 5 real-life minutes before that boat gets here. And that's what we're waiting for. So you will enjoy this Selbina music for the next 5 minutes or 2 in-game hours, whichever you prefer. while we wait for this boat. What's going on, Twilight? How you doing? The music's gonna stop for a second. And then we're gonna ride that boat for 12 real minutes. And then we're gonna peace out of Muhara, which is gonna be very laggy, by the way. Yeah, except I have nowhere to go, Aces. What's going on, Shin? How you doing? Oh, man. Everyone makes fun of my gear. I was gonna get +1s. I don't remember why I didn't. Oh, it's because I had... yeah. And see, like, these are item level 119. These alternate brays +1, but then these are also item level 119, and they just have higher stats. This is like Vit +12 and Agility +19, Strength +30. This is Strength +42, Vit +... You could see the difference within the same one. They didn't have islands. They had separate zones that you could access through the different crags. To be more specific. That's my chest, by the way. Enjoy it. Also, enjoy me jumping. Yeah, I know. I was just showing the example of how they pretty much abandoned item level. That's all I was going for. Basically, they have item level, but they completely abandon it, and they just keep saying it's item level 119, even though it's not item level 119. No, I'm not going to give you my stuff. Stop asking for free shit. Yes, you need to type /jump. It's an emote. It doesn't functionally do anything. Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea, Pixel. It takes 12 minutes on respawn for a lot of respawns like him. And there's 3 minutes till the boat gets here. Yeah, this jump doesn't actually do anything. Literally, you can't jump over anything. Yeah, that still looks really bad for your design, though, is the problem. Neo. Dude, the sea horror would be anything but a horror at this point. I can make it look like I jumped the couch. See? It looks like I'm jumping the couch, but I could just walk straight through the couch anyway. I mean, I can jump over a candlestick. Wait, what the hell? Why did this not close? Sorry. I had to cut the music one more time real quick. Yes, you can. If I typed an emote, I could sit on that couch. I think it's like sit chair. Oh yeah, he actually typed it to me. Sit chair. Well, I'm not sitting... Oh, there's... Well, no, there's my own chair. At the very least. There you go. I summoned my own chair. Yeah, sit chair 10 didn't do anything. Yes, we're waiting on a ferry. Oh, look, there it is. The ship bound for Muhara will arrive soon. There it is. No, that's to sit on a couch, little. And that's not to sit on the couch, that's to fuck yo couch. I'm aware I don't have it. I don't know why you would think I would have it. I collect nothing in this game. And now we have to wait for the boat to leave, by the way, which is another 3 minutes? I think it's 3 minutes? Yes, 3 minutes? 2 minutes. We gotta wait another 2 minutes for the boat to actually leave now. No, special gameplay? At least you can actually cover a vertical distance, Shin. There's no bosses that really use it much, although you can use it on bosses to overcome certain positional checks. But this, like, if there's a small ledge in 11 and I use this jump, I cannot jump up the small ledge. And let me tell you about small ledges in Final Fantasy 11, alright? Let me tell you about small ledges. Oh man, there's a notorious monster, it's right there. Oh shit. There's a 12-inch ledge right here. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Okay. There's gotta be a path somewhere that way that I can just walk up and come back around. Okay? Because I'm not gonna get over this 12-inch ledge. I'm gonna have to find a way around, and I'm gonna have to do that. I might have to go through another zone to do it, but I'm sure as hell not gonna be able to climb that 12-inch ledge right there. Oh no! What am I gonna do? There's a 6-inch gap between where I'm standing and that other ledge. I guess I gotta go all the way around. There's no way I could possibly clear this 6-inch gap between where I'm standing and where I need to be. That's all there is. That's all there is. Feels bad, man. What's going on, Bart? How you doing? Hey, look, it's Invisichair. Invisichair. Hey, 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 Invisichair. Good old Invisichair. Ugh. Oh yeah, Barts. Don't worry, this thing will take off at some point. They can't, but they can jump. But Zoan, they can jump. They can jump. I can jump, they can jump, we can all jump. I'm just saying. I could also just make a macro for that. It wouldn't be that hard, Yanato, but it'd be fucked up if somebody couldn't do it well. And now we'll go up top the deck and wait and hope something happens. I'm just jumping, Shino. All I'm doing is jumping, alright? They're Galkas. Rose are based off of Galkas. They just got rid of the tail. That boat is not on water. That boat's flying. Just want to point that out. That boat's flying. That boat's gone. Thank you for the 2nd month in a row, Cozy. Could I get some sub hype in the chat, please? And thank you for Cozy's 2nd month resub. Thank you for supporting the stream, Cozy. And of course, alright. So now we are on the ship bound for Muhara. People are already running up top. Alright. So what people did, you know what they did? They sat here and fished. Maybe fought some enemies that are on the deck. As you can see, that guy with the sea crab. That guy looks like he's gonna be going fish crazy. I'll protect you, good sir. Burn down. Burn down. See? And then he's gonna fish up. He fished up a Belful Marlin. They're completely different races, Kalma. They're different games. Okay, that guy's afraid he's gonna fish. So what that guy's doing is he's going invisible, because if he fishes while... Oh, I'm sorry, if he fishes, well, with sneak on, which is an effect that doesn't let enemies hear you, he won't aggro all the fish he's picking up. That guy's fishing rod is glowing. So if he does fish up an enemy, that's gonna fuck him up. Like that ocean crab. I got your back, dude. Boop. Now it won't aggro him. Bronze box. Okay. Thanks. This bronze box sat on the ocean floor for many years. What else is he gonna fish up? Another marlin. Well, I mean, fish, crustaceans, it's all the same. I gotta hand in that cipher at some point. Where is that stupid box? There you go. Dude, I'm protecting him. That wasn't Bill's wife. Bill's a red crab. Think he would date a blue crab? Get out of here. His parents raised him with poor morals. Hey! Another bad guy. No, I want to kill this one, Diggs. Well, it doesn't look like he was exactly rushing to get one. He didn't even fish that monster up. That one just spawned. Oh, by the way, if you ever want to know how long you have to wait, you can talk to this guy in here. 11 minutes! I want pizza. Maybe I'll have pizza today. I got food in the house. I don't need no pizza. I've been just trying to stick to the meals we have in the house and to cut out sugary beverages. Oh, I mean, we've already been on this boat for like 3 minutes. Hello, ocean crab. Jump off the boat. That's a good one. If it was the airship, I could at least do the glitch. Jump off the boat. Jump off the boat. Jump off the boat. Jump off the boat. Jumping off the boat. You regretfully released it. This jump doesn't do jack shit. You know what I like about the jump? If you're running down the stairs while jumping, your character doesn't maintain the height and then fall the full distance. Your character's axis also goes down with the stairs. Watch. I don't know. I think they might just use the antiquated gear we have currently. You got a tiger shark. Tiger shark. See those stars? Those stars above your head, remember the job points I was talking about earlier? That means that he's got all his job points for a samurai, I think that is? Yeah, samurai. See, there you go. He's got a aftermath, so that's the Empyrean. Tachirana? Yeah, I think that's the Empyrean weapon. The 119 Empyrean weapon. He's got Blood Rain, Strip. He's got this. Oh, he's got the Archer on, alright. I'll go into Dynamis if we reach the content goal at the top, and I'll put it to a vote, and then if we reach it again, I'll do a different one, like Limbus or something, etc., etc. Tachirana. I'm trying to remember which one Rana is. That's the Mythic, okay. Oh, that's right, Aftermath. Aftermath is on the Mythics. It's not Empyrean. Because Empyrean would be Shoha. For the weapon skill. The Moonshade. Hey, I have that. Well, I'm assuming we have the same one. The Vulcan. Hey, a Warp Ring. Hey, Defending Ring. Hey, +1 stuff. I don't have it.
Oh hey, I didn't see that bit bar there.
Thank you for the 400 cheers, Sploda. Get some dollar. As you fight Epic Face to the death. What's going on, Rickness? How you doing? I'd like to say that 11 went through maybe like 4 years of kind of just not knowing what it wanted to be. I think after they moved things, after Rhapsodies came out, they started doing things a little bit better. It's still a super grind for anything that's not leveling. But you can actually feasibly get some things done in this game without being logged in for super long nowadays. So it's a little more approachable. It's still that, it's just that getting to the point where you can do that will take a really fucking long time. So one of the random occurrences that can happen on a boat, doesn't look like we managed to have it occur, but you can actually have pirates attack the boat. Basically, a ship will pull up next to you, and they'll summon skeletons onto the deck, and then it can also summon Silverhook or Blackbeard, which drop White Mage Cudgels. There's no camping notorious monsters for ridiculous amounts of time anymore. Thank God that's not there. Anything you want to do, you could feasibly get it done within a time frame nowadays. Oh, he didn't have that. No, the amount of time commitment it takes once you've already established your character and you're like set with like 119 stuff, it's not that bad. But to actually be caught up to other players is a whole nother story. And by the way, that's a month of a lot of play. It's not a month of like, hey, I have 3 hours a day to play. That's a month of playing like you played it back in the day. Is this I had this conversation on Twitter earlier this morning, Porch. That's how you have to approach playability in this day and age. You have to consider a working schedule. If you want to pour a lot of hours in, yeah, you can probably get caught up in a month. I mean, this character was done in less than a month, and he's at least 119 with some ambuscade stuff. Though I need a fucking better belt. But I also played it every day for like 10 hours a day because I do this for a living. I wouldn't expect the normal person to pull that off. And, of course, without the job point grind, it takes for fucking ever. Boop. It's fucking bronze box. Oh, yeah, and getting the... The cost of the items for Gobby Bags now suck, which is why I only have 35 item slots, by the way. They've had item level in 11 for 7 years now? They added it with Adolin. Yeah, about 7 years. Once they hit 99 and they didn't want to go any higher, that's when they started doing that. Just remember, according to the Brady Strategy Guide, Red Mage is an excellent sub-job for Warrior because you can cure yourself. I'm just saying, that Brady Guide really knew what the players were looking for. Yeah, that helps a lot. If you're going to get caught up on job points, this would be the month to do it. Absolutely. Because the job point grind is one of the toughest things about getting caught up. It's one of the things players... Because the big thing with the enemies you need to get the most job points require a lot of accuracy. And that's... If you're playing something like Corsair, or I guess Geomancer or Bard or something like that, you don't really have to worry about that requirement as much. So it's easier on you to get your job points on something like Geomancer or something. It's just that, you know, if you want them on... I want to use them on my samurai, it's a different story. Weapon skill list. Everything's very accuracy gated. If you don't have, if you're a physical player, like you do physical attacks, and your accuracy isn't off the fucking charts, then nobody wants to fuck with that. I can't see them because they're behind me. That's a bit of a problem. I mean, you can see Tachi, 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 Tachi. You can see them when I'm actually in battle. 1,500 cheers, by the way, Bart. Thank you for the 1,500 cheers. Can I get some dollar? Thank you for the 1,500 cheers. We should be landing reasonably soon. Probably another 3 minutes, if I had to take a guess. There's also another notorious monster that you could find here on the boat. Yep, 3 minutes. One that's probably the most popular thing on the boat was the Sea Horror. Basically, it was a Kraken-type enemy that was, you know, a near max level. His drop wasn't even that good, but basically what would happen is he would hover, like, right here on the deck. And what new players would do, they'd come to the boat for the first time, and they'd, like, come up the stairs, and they'd be like, oh, wow, look at all this. Wow, this is all so cool. And then they'd open this fucking door, and all of a sudden, slapped, dead, done. There is PvP, it just sucks. And it always did suck. Yeah, I have Fudo. I have Fudo. And then someone would have it chase them down the stairs, and then nowhere was safe. At that point, what you had to do is run past whoever was aggroing it, and you had to run up to the top of the deck, like up here. And just hope for the best. It was your only choice. And dude, I want my Puppet Master, yo. And if someone was AFK for the entire boat ride, they were going to come back to a bad surprise. Caught a silver shark. This guy's catching things left and right. Next, we're going to head into the Labyrinth of Onzozo. We're going to skip Bibiki Bay for now. We're trying to keep the COP areas until a little bit later. Puppet Master was really, really good when it... Oh, see, that's a Sea Monk. The Sea Horror looks like that, but just bigger and stronger. But for, Puppet Master was generally poorly received when it first launched. I made it work really fucking well, and I had parses to show people I was fucking murdering. The problem is if my pet died, I was worthless, 100%. But eventually, they started making some changes. The Puppet Master got a lot stronger, and it became a lot less punishing to lose your pet. Especially when they raised the hand-to-hand minimum skill. But when Puppet Master first came out, the only thing that was really good was the Archer. The Archer was... Well, I guess that's not true. The Healer and the Black Mage were pretty good, but the Archer was the one that was in, like, for EXP parties. Because a lot of the enemies were weak to piercing, it was pretty common that the Archer would pop off a super strong weapon skill and then die in one fucking hit, and then you'd be worthless for 20 minutes. Alright, we're almost there. I guess this person who was AFK the whole time just decided they wanted to fish. He caught another monster. Too bad it's going to despawn in a second. Yeah, the thing about the Black Mage frame is as long as it remained at full HP, it sucked to do this because it would overheat really easily if you did. But when it ran out of MP, instead of resting, you could just fucking desummon it, resummon it. The only problem is you were more viable to getting overheated that way unless you had the Mythic Weapon. If you had the Mythic Weapon, then Puppet Master literally could probably pop off like 20-25 nukes before you saw an overheat. But if not, eh. You just had to make sure you got a triple ice maneuver, Blizzard 4, and you were all set. And that was the boat ride. At the end of the day, that was the boat ride. Now, Muhara is like... Oh, look, someone's looking for Divergence. They're looking for Black Mages, Scards... Black Mages, Scholars, and Bards.
Phone cheers, hypey.
Thanks. Yeah, phone cheers. Hey, you got mobile biddies now. Original sub job? I don't care about the sub jobs, dude. Ninja was all that mattered. So Muhara is really fucking busy nowadays. Has been for a while now, mostly because of Ambuscade. So you can see a bunch of people gathering around the Mughals. It's going to take a while for them all to load in, but there's a shit ton of people here. How many people are in Muhara currently? There's 131 people in Muhara right now. There's a home point there that we can't see. And then you have... This is the actual NPC for Ambuscade over here. So if we, like, sit here for a minute or two, they'll probably load all the other people. It's going to take a while. Technology isn't quite there yet. Alright, let's get out of here. This is Asura. Scholar's good at a variety of things. Scholar was a hybrid job in this game. Thank you for the dollar again, by the way, Haku. Uno dollar. Did this place have music? I don't think Boobarimbo had music. It didn't have music. Got it. But you know what does have music? There you go. Bill has music. So we're going to take a quick detour. We have a few detours to take here. We're going to head over to the Labyrinth of Onzozo first, which is popular for quite a handful of things. There's a lot of very popular enemies over here. Boobarimbo itself wasn't that popular as an area. It was basically just a place you had to go through to get to a lot of very useful places. No, Sakagami. But yeah, another one of my big issues with trying to do content in this game is I'm a samurai. A lot of people don't like samurais. Technically, it doesn't matter. They're fine. But they're as fine as most of you are used to in 14, where something's fine and people kind of overinflate it. There are a bunch of mounts. I only have 2. So this is the Labyrinth of Onzozo. This place was another very, very popular dungeon. So these things, not a big deal. Well, the first item that we're going to talk about is an earring. It was a level 47 earring that was pretty much considered mandatory for endgame black mages. It had a magic attack on it. And I can't remember the name of it, but somebody's going to probably remember the name of it. And basically, in the room immediately to the right of this one is basically a notorious monster that can spawn between 1 hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours and 15 minutes. I knew it began with an M, Moldavite. That's what it was. I kept wanting to say something else, but I was like, I know it begins with an M. Every 15 minutes after a 1.5 hour mark, up to about the 2 hour 15 mark, there was a chance that this guy could spawn Mystic Maker Proflix. And this guy drops the Moldavite earring. I don't know, does this guy want it? What level is this guy? He might not even be able to kill it. Wingman J. He's level 51. With that, he could probably do it. I don't want to just kill it, because he might actually want to. Although it's taking him a really long time to kill these cockatrices. So maybe, yeah. No, if it's taking him that long to kill these cockatrices, no fucking way. Alright. Mystic Maker. Boop. So I just double attacked there. So this guy is a black mage, casts a bunch of spells. The biggest one he'll cast is that mana font, so he basically is just going to chain cast spells from that point on. And boop. And we didn't get it, by the way. We got a Scroll of Thunder 3 and some Goblin stuff. Goblin Mask, Goblin Armor, and a Scroll of Thunder 3. So that's one of the important notorious monsters. Probably the one that any new black mage, people would hit like 47 and they'd beg their friends to camp it for them. So that way they could actually try to get the drop. And if they got the drop, if you were level 47 you had a Moldavite earring, your damage was way up there compared to other players. So he's a popular one. The most popular one was the Lord of Onzozo, which was a Kraken-type mob, which we're going to be walking over to where he spawns, although the odds are he's not alive. He's still killed pretty frequently. Basically, originally he dropped an item called the Kraken Club, which could attack 2 to 8 times. They eventually moved that club to a BCNM, which is like a type of enclosed, like an instanced battle, and it had a really low drop rate there. It also had a really low drop rate here, but it has a really low drop rate there as well. Instead, now he drops what's called an Octave Club, which only gives you that same benefit if you're... well, it depends on your multiple of levels. Basically, depending on if your level's a multiple of 8, it attacks 8 times, pretty much. So yeah, this Manta, people would just kill this Manta over and over again, and then there you go. But it wasn't just a multiple of 8. It depended on what your job was a multiple of, or what your level was a multiple of. It was just that that was the most popular one. And then, if you go all the way into the back here, there was a popular leveling area back here as well, where basically in your 60s, and around your level 60 area, you could kill enemies in the way back here. They were Coeurls. And because they were Coeurls, they were popular because they didn't have any hard-hitting tank skills. They just had status effects. And those status effects could even be avoided if you looked away from them. So, if your tank was really, really skilled, he would do his best to actually avoid even getting paralyzed by these things. And way in the back is a notorious monster called Ose, which dropped an item called an Assault Jerkin. Now, most of the time when you're leveling and you fight notorious monsters, these are the enemies you would level off of right here, by the way, are Taramas. These are the Coeurls that you would level off of. Unlike most notorious monsters, where leveling groups would kind of actively avoid them because they were just infinitely stronger than the enemies you were actually fighting, what would usually happen is there were maybe 2 or 3 groups of people that were in the Labyrinth of Onzozo leveling. You'd usually team up and like pop all your 2 hours, which were just... 2 hours was the name of a skill that had a 2-hour cooldown, so it was just like a super skill. The cooldown on it's only an hour now, and if you master the job, it goes down to 45 minutes, I believe. So they're not... no one really calls them... some people still call them 2 hours, they're just not actually 2 hours anymore. And you'd usually team up with like a nearby party, and you would basically just go ham and try to take it out. And it was really popular. It's a really popular thing to do. I came in through the wrong entrance. Most people use a different entrance. But yeah, you have to kill a few of them, so it doesn't look like he's alive right now. But yeah, basically you would pull them out of this room. There's also a Manticore, which most people would avoid. Manticores didn't really get used for leveling much outside of certain other places. But yeah, and then he dropped an Assault Jerkin, which everyone would always fight over and try to win for themselves. And it was a shit show every time, like every MMO is when it comes to dealing with that. Narasima is up. He's another notorious monster that spawns in here. No one really cares about Narasima as much as Ose, though. And then those are really the important things for the Labyrinth. A very condensed zone, but it had a lot of really popular things in it. Dragoon was really good, and then they made it so that Pentathrust didn't give you as much TP per hit back. So, feels bad, man. So now we're going to exit the way we came in, and we're going to make our way over to the next popular area, which is the Maze of Shakurami, which we can actually... we might be able to enter from the... I know we can enter from the Argus side in Bubarimbo. I think we can then drop off and head towards the OG side. The OG side being the exit that leads to Tarangni Canyon, which will then follow to Saruta Baruta, go inside one of the Horutoto ruins. We probably won't go to the Toremare Canal right away. I don't even need this invis anymore. I'm going the wrong way anyway, so it doesn't matter. No, I mean 2 hours. It was an ability you could only use once every 2 hours. So our ability here was Meiko Shisui. That was what used to be 2 hours. Now it's only 1 hour, down to 45 minutes. With your job points taken care of. And yeah, every job had that. And you also have 2 1-hour abilities now to boot. So like I have that as one of my 1-hour abilities, and I have another ability that's a 1-hour ability as well. Hey, and the time could be lowered. 100 Fists was another one, yeah. Well, they had Invincible. And then you got a bunch of other job abilities here that I know you can't see because my head is in front of them, but, you know, what are you going to do? Well, you can actually see most of them. Valkyrie, welcome back for the 35th month in a row. Thank you for supporting the stream for the 35th month in a row. Can I get some sub hype in the chat, please? And thank you for Valkyrie Knight. Thank you for the almost 3 years. And of course, hey, how you doing? Well, the ability you're talking about, Aura Steal, the most popular use for Aura Steal, other than stealing from Beastmen when they would 2-hour, was probably, there was a boss called the Jailer of Love who had a boost, which would boost his attack to the maximum value. So a thief could steal that and then do a sneak attack, trick attack, weapon skill, and basically do, like, max damage. It was insane. Kick that arse, welcome back for the 16th month in a row. Can I get some sub hype in the chat, please, and thank you. And of course, alright. What is it, 22 jobs, 24 jobs in this game now? I only have 8 unlocked. What's going on, Kyoka? I didn't even see you say hi. What's up? I think it's 24. No, I think it's 20. No, it's one of the two. Alright, love you too, babe. See you later. Stop being all that beef jerky. Ah, okay. Yeah, before it was, what did they change it to? Is it Life Surge? I think they eventually changed the Call Wyvern to Life Surge, where you could sacrifice the Wyvern, but the Wyvern only had a 15-minute cooldown at that time. Yeah, Ninja 2-hour was really bad. Good old Mijin Gakker. Literally, just kill yourself. Yeah, the Link Shell I was in, we only knew Kraken Club Dark Knights. I mean, we funded every Kraken Club with everything that we did. We just said, alright, here... Basically, we got to a point where it wasn't even like, oh, we need a Kraken Club for our Dark Knights. It was like, guys, we need a Dark Knight for our Kraken Clubs. What's going on here? Good times. Guys, we got another Kraken Club. Who wants a level Dark Knight now? You? Got it. You'll get the next Kraken Club when you hit 75. Enjoy it. Fucking enjoy it. Alright. So, the next area we're going to is the Maze of Shakrami. There's only one, I guess technically two really popular things in here, and we're about to go to both of them. One of them may be alive, but the other definitely cannot be if one of them is. So, Maze of Shakrami had a bunch of things. There was the Dragoon quest that takes place in here with the egg. There's it leads to Adawak Chasm, which is a super popular area for hardcore endgame. One of the big things though is Argus. Argus was a notorious monster that spawned every day and a half to like 2.5 days approximately, and he dropped an item called the Peacock Charm. Now it's pretty basic item. It just has plus accuracy, plus ranged accuracy. But it was plus 10 of both, and there weren't many items in the game that did that. So it was a really big deal if you had it. It was also incredibly rare, not only because he spawned, but it's not a 100% drop rate at that. So anyone who did have one either paid a ridiculous amount of money for it, or camped them for it. Eventually, they moved the Peacock Charm into a BCNM, which is like an instanced battle. We mentioned one of those earlier on Zozo. And they gave this guy the Peacock Amulet, which basically was an untradeable version of the same item. So if you wanted the charm, you were more likely to get it from the BCNM 40, which I saw plenty of charms back in the day for. Whereas the Peacock Amulet was something that you saw less common. You really needed to be there and to participate to see him. And what do you know? Argus is indeed alive. So the thing about Argus is there's two notorious monsters. There's Argus and there's the Leech King. When one of them would spawn, the other one can't spawn. So basically, you would need to kill one and then wait for the spawn window again. And that was pretty much your only choice. So there's Argus right there. Nobody bothers with him anymore because he's not really relevant anymore. So you can just walk up, bam, hit him once, hope you get it. Okay, maybe hit him more than once, but there you go. We'll have to hit him a couple of times. And the Leech King, on the other hand, dropped a different item entirely. And like I said, since they shared a spawn, if one was there, the other one wouldn't be, pretty much. And we actually got the amulet. So, yay me! We got one. We got it. Look, we got one. Where is it? Hey, we got the amulet. See? We got the amulet. There it is, right there. Peacock amulet. You can see it behind my head, kind of. There you go. Right there, see? We got it. And no one cares, because it's irrelevant, so. The other room over here is the one for the Leech King. But Leech King can't be here. But this spot's actually popular for a different reason. In order to unlock the Summoner job in this game, you had to kill leeches until they drop what was called a Carbuncle Ruby. And then you could start the quest using the Carbuncle Ruby. So what was pretty common is people with really high level jobs would come here and just kill this entire room full of leeches until they got the ruby. What's going on, Platinum? How you doing? But because we just killed Argus, Leech King can't be there, so we exit at this point. If I'm not mistaken, I think I can jump off of a ledge here and go back to the other side of Maze of Shakrami and actually exit that way to get to Tarangni Canyon. If not, it's actually probably quicker for me to just leave. But I could actually see more of this area. Or that, or this area is at the bottom of the cliff, and I got them mixed up. Well, you kind of just gracefully fall. Yeah, no, there's a gap here. Nope, never mind. Looks like it's separated, but yeah, it's separated by water. Okay. No way I can make it over that gap, by the way. No way. It's impossible. No one could make that. No one could make that. Not even in real life. No way. There's no way around it. There's just no way. There's just no way. There's just no way, guys. So we're going to leave the way we came. And then, just go back. You can jump. Look at this. I can jump. I could jump all day. Will it do anything? No, but I can do it. See? I can jump all day. Got it. Easy. Tell me how to live my life. I could probably go through that way. Now, we'll just exit and go back down the other way. Just hug this right wall right here. Dude, technology has really reached a whole nother level with that jump. A whole nother level. So the next area we're going to visit after we leave Buburimbu is we're going to go to the Tarangni Canyon. Tarangni Canyon, again, is the equivalent for Windurst that Lathine Plateau and Konstadt Highlands were for Bastak and Sindoria, in that it's got moderate leveled enemies. It's got a crag this time of Maya. You'll see it as we're passing by. And it eventually connects to the starting areas of Saruta Baruta. We're almost back to the entrance. Almost there. And then we can get back on Bill. There's no music in Tarangni Canyon either, by the way. So that won't really matter either. Wait for that load screen. Bibiki Bay is connected to Buburimbu. If I were to go to the southwest corner of Buburimbu, it would connect me to the Bibiki Bay, which is a COP area. Shades of Promethea, one of the expansions. Alright, so we gotta hug this wall and we'll go there. Jita will make it to eventually. It's gonna be a while before we make it to Jita. We're gonna go to Juno after we're done in Windurst. This Atamos chilling right here, this Cavernous Maw, that's part of the Wings of the Goddess expansion, so we won't be touching those for a while. Dude, I did not like Bibiki Bay. I didn't like anything about that place for leveling. It was really popular. I was just like, alright, good, there's a spot that has enemies we can kill, but by fucking gods did I not like that place. Yes, I am, Darmith. It takes a long time to tour Vana'diel. And especially if we end up reaching content goals for stuff like Dynamis and whatnot, it's going to take a lot. I won't spend the entire lockout in Dynamis. I'll spend a little bit of a lockout in there, but, oh man. Oh, and every area on the map, by the way, is almost all of them are conquered by Beastmen at this point. Well, that maw was for Abyssy, but the maws started popping up around Wings of the Goddess, more specifically. Some of the maws are for one of them. The more animated maws are for Abyssy. There's like maws that look like old and decrepit. Those ones will take you to Wings of the Goddess. Alright, so here we are in the Shrine Canyon. Oh yeah, and just so we're 100% clear, I told you it has no music, but just so you guys know for certain, you can hear the wind blow. We'll have to get a little bit closer to see the Crag of Maya. There you go. Alright, and back on to Bill. Make our way over here. There's also another entrance to the Maze of Shakrami in the northeast right there, and the Merifatod Mountains we'll work our way back towards after we go through Saruta Baruta and Horototo. Yep, so there's another crag. That's the third one you've seen, so it's pretty much the same as the other ones. Minus where it's going to drop you in C, or in Altayu, more specifically. The biggest thing I remember disliking is the stupid Arapago Pass down here at the bottom. I just didn't like any of the Windurst zone. Like, nothing. I didn't like any of the areas surrounding it. I didn't like the path you had to take to Juno, even though actually, the Champagne is probably the most direct way. Although, I guess technically Rollenberry is pretty direct, it's just a little bit different. Yeah, it's at max draw distance. We'll do Prometheans later, because I'm trying to get through the bases of the game first before we cover some of that other stuff. We still haven't even visited any of the Beastman areas as well. Aloha ain't punching me for shit, Shinji. I will say this though, I'm hungry and I got potato chips right here and I'm somewhat tempted. Except that potato chips when you're a streamer are like probably the most obnoxious thing to eat because they're the loudest. So you're reaching in the bag and it's like, and then, yeah, the beta is December 9th, comma. Yeah, so we gotta run all the way around right here. I mean, who's to know if it would be on Siren Pokey? Could be anywhere. Dude, I remember one time I claimed Fafnir and everyone thought I was botting. I was on a PS2 at the time, fucking PlayStation 2, and like, this motherfucker's botting. And I was like, dude, I pulled it with Daya. Alright, my Link Show was mad at me for pulling with Daya because it meant they couldn't sleep it. And I was like, just fucking go stand on the feet. What's so hard about that shit? Like, no, we need to get into position. We need to sleep it and wait fucking 3 minutes to get into position. I'm like, just go stand on the fucking feet. Don't be a bitch. I can't even see the boss. Did you want me to claim him or did you not want me to claim him, alright? This is what you fucking got, deal with it. Alright. So you want to know something funny about the launch of this game? And I will read this word for word for you. The game initially released in Japan on May 16th for the PlayStation 2. and Microsoft Windows-based personal computers in November of that year. So we are celebrating the 15th anniversary of the PC launch, whereas May was the 15th anniversary of the PS2 launch, which came several months earlier. That was in Japan, though. That was the Japanese release schedule. For America got it in North America in March of 2004 on the PlayStation 2. And on October 28th, 2003 for PC. Although when it hit North America is when Rise of Xylark came out, so. Okay, so we're in Saruta Baruta right now, by the way. This is the starting zone for Windurst. It's one of the 2 starting zones. As a zone, I guess the most popular thing about it, there is a notorious monster that spawns in the area where I'm currently standing that drops a silk cape. But crawlers in general were really popular. They dropped silk, which sold very, 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 very well. Cocoons and silk were big items amongst a lot of different enemy types if they had them in their loot list. Yeah, we'll do the music in a second here. And those were very popular, so it wasn't too uncommon to see people just running around killing crawlers anyway. And then you have the very calming music of Saruta Baruta. So you know what players would do? They'd say, ooh, a crawler. Ooh. Ooh. There you go. Smooth stone. So, with those memories out the way, Saruta Baruta, outside of the crawlers and outside of that specific notorious monster that drops the cape, that wasn't there when we did it. It doesn't exist, Little. They confirmed that shit doesn't exist. Was, like I said, what I felt was probably the least important of the dungeons near the entrances to well, I guess the second least important. It wasn't as important as King Rampers, but it was definitely better than Dengar Flooding, is the Horutoto Ruins. There's a bunch of different entrances to the Horutoto Ruins, but the ruins themselves weren't popular for very much. They were basically most popular for getting you to an area known as the Torre Canal, which was used in the Summoner Quest line, and eventually to unlock Fenrir. And it looks like this the entire way through. I'd say the most influential thing for me with the Horutoto Ruins, in West Saruta Baruta, there's an entrance to the far north. And that entrance literally just has a few rooms. It kind of looks like this one. In fact, all of them kind of look like this one. And it had, in each of those rooms was a chance for an enemy to spawn every 12 minutes. It would either be a normal bomb, it would be the Bomb King, or it would be a doppelganger. One of 2 doppelgangers. I think it was Doppelganger Dio and Doppelganger... I can't remember the name of the other one. The Bomb King was the real prize there, because he dropped the Bomb Ring, which sold pretty well. The doppelgangers, no one really cared about them, and they were even a little bit harder to kill than the Bomb King himself. What was even better if you were someone like me, who was just trying to make money in any way possible, is there was the only respawn time you had to wait for was the 12 minutes between spawns. So basically, you could kill Bomb King and then 12 minutes later, have him spawn again. The downside being, if you got the Bomb Ring from the first time you killed him, then you weren't going to get a Bomb Ring from the second time unless you had already gone back to the auction house and put it up. And auction houses, by the way, were city-specific back then. There were certain areas that would tie to each one, like Norg was tied to Bastak, doesn't work that way anymore. Juno was tied to Tabnasia. I want to say Kazam was tied to Windurst. And I think Rabao was tied to Sandoria. I think that's what it is. So you would basically, if you were me, you'd quickly rush to the nearest auction house, put it up for sale there, and then go back and try to get it again. I did that to make money, and I made a few 100K as an early level player doing that. I think I was around level 30 to 35-ish when I was doing that. What's going on, Missing Go? How you doing? Oh, so by the way, a lot of people in chat are talking about crafting and directions and days and all that shit. For those who don't keep up with the Final Fantasy XI subreddit, there was an AMA where somebody asked about the direction you faced and the moon phases and all that other stuff. The developers straight up confirmed none of that shit ever worked. And they just never told people because they liked seeing them talk about it. I shit you not, none of that shit ever mattered. So all the time you wasted researching it was worthless because it didn't matter. I just want you to know that. That AMA was beautiful. Sorry, I had to click out of the window. That AMA did that with a lot of things. You want to know something funny, Enigmatic? My main character is almost max level chocobo digging. Yeah, they commented on Treasure Hunter too, about what Treasure Hunter worked on and what it didn't work on, and how people just tried to use it. Oh, that's right, Treasure Hunter. Yeah, the rumor that thieves needed to be the last one to kill an enemy to proc Treasure Hunter, they confirmed that was never a thing. And that they just let people do it because they wanted to, you know. And they also talked about what drops Treasure Hunter even worked on and which ones they didn't work on. Although players actually knew that. Players knew that if a slot was 100% had a 100% chance of dropping an item, that Treasure Hunter didn't work on it. It was less educated players that didn't know that. So basically, like if an item had, let's say Leaping Boots. Treasure Hunter didn't affect Leaping Boots. I'm sorry, that's a bad example. It did affect Leaping Boots. Treasure Hunter didn't affect Oromusha Kote, or whatever the other name of them was before they made it a rare react. So basically, Beast of Notorious monsters have a loot table that works like this. There's an item slot that has a 100% chance of proccing. It's a 95% chance it's one item, it's a 5% chance it's another item. Treasure Hunter doesn't work on this item slot. Players knew that back in the day, but they commented on it again with that. So Treasure Hunter had no effect, because all Treasure Hunter did was tell you the probability that a slot would actually drop something. So if you had slots that, like, there's only a 40% chance that this drop slot procs, Treasure Hunter would affect that. If this one has 100%, but it's a split percentage between two items, Treasure Hunter has no effect on it. So, for example, Treasure Hunter did not affect Defending Ring, because the Defending Ring slot was 100%, but it was 99% of the time a Pixie Earring, and then 1% of the time it was the Defending Ring. So, it had no effect on Defending Ring, as an example. And now we are in Windurst, the final starting city and my least favorite one by far. I don't like the Dynamis here, I don't like the city, I don't like anything about this place, but it does have a lot of very, very, very important quests. And is a lot of very heavy story implications, and of course is the home to our favorite little Tarutaru Shantoto. No, they did a video on that one, Hedo. And it has lots of Tarutarus. That it indeed does. I hated Windurst. Everything about Windurst. The way it's structured, the way the characters, just the way they're positioned. I don't like any of it. Ah, good old scholar abuse. I remember that. Hey, people are looking for more Dynamis. He's looking for the new Dynamis Divergence in Sandoria. They need a See, that's exactly it. Look right there. Veteran Master Samurai. We'll only invite a Master Samurai. It happens a lot on Asura. That's the shit. Unless, that's what I'm saying. If you're someone who's trying to play like a job that requires accuracy, people always demand that you be masters. If you're like a Corsair or a Geomancer or a Bard, they're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Just exist. Happens every fucking time. Ever since I've seen the Master Point and logged in, I've seen nothing but people asking you to be Master. Mostly because accuracy requirements are ridiculously high, and the bonus accuracy you get from being a Master is pretty fucking important. I mean, they've done it with the other Final Fantasy games too, Jiangxi. So it wouldn't really be, not really much of an effect. Physical accuracy bonus. How much physical accuracy bonus do you get? Haseo and Segon, let's see, chance activates, blah, 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 store TP, capacity points, skill chain, physical defense, capacity points, physical attack, evasion, capacity, accuracy, magic accuracy, capacity, store TP, skill chain, capacity, third eye, physical defense, physical attack, evasion, accuracy, blah, 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 blah. Master is obtaining every job point available to your job, which is basically like a new form of merits that eventually ends when you complete all points for it. There's not really... The party finder in this game is literally people put up a flag and you look to see who's flagged. But outside of that, it doesn't really have much in terms of searching capabilities. So there's our good little Tartar right there, Shantoto. I don't want to get anywhere fucking near her because she's got some bad mojo. I think it's because I actually have the Shantoto Ascension quest active. So if I talk to her, I'm going to get a shit ton of cutscenes. Well, the capacity points increase different job aspects, but then the more job aspects you increase, the more passive bonuses you get as well. The capacity points push your character up to a whole nother level when it comes to efficiency. So yeah, the party finder in this game wasn't really that effective. If you were actually looking for something that wasn't just a party for like random content, you pretty much shouted. She doesn't exist in 14. It's not the same character, Enigmatic. Shatoto is not Shantoto. Honestly, a lot of the times, even after they released the party finder, it was still better to do a see all and ask people than it was to use the party finder. Because sometimes the party finder wouldn't look for people within the level range, the exact level range you wanted, and sometimes there would be people who weren't flagged, but were still, you could still ask them for a party. Most of the time, it was better to just do see all even after the fact. Excuse me, would you like a party? I noticed you're not looking for a party, but would you like a party? You know how many parties I got made doing that versus actually using their party finder that wasn't even used all the way most of the time? A lot. Excuse me, party, would you like it? Fuck yeah! Sure, I wasn't even doing that right now, but I'll fucking do that. I was gonna do that in like 20 minutes. You know what you wanted? If you really, really wanted to like tease people, you would just go on like a level like 16 White Mage and just AFK in Valkurm Dunes and just like leave it on overnight and count the amount of tells you got by the time you woke up. What's going on, Sith? How you doing? Most people just go to Reddit, and Reddit links everything from all the different news sites. Yep. Sometimes you had to do that. That's why the party finder wasn't really that good in this game. If you could find what you were looking for there, great, but most of the time you couldn't, and you'd have to just literally look all over the place. Yeah, it's just a reference. They do that in all, it's like in every Final Fantasy how there's references to other